Well, welcome back, YouTubers and toy train buffs, to another installment of the Edge of Town Rejuvenation Project. We don't have a whole lot of updates today since my last rejuvenation refurbishment update. I've been busy painting the grandbaby's room, uh, so I've just been focusing on that project versus working on this. I did get a couple things though. Did get a couple things done. Oh, first of all, thank you to all the new subscribers. I hope you enjoy the channel. I started this rejuvenation project back in January, I believe it was, thinking, I'll have maybe 8 or 9 installments. Here I'm up to what, part 14, and with everything I've got in my noggin to do, I could make it up to 20 plus installments. It's a small layout. It's essentially toy train inching its way to high rail slowly. It will never be totally high rail. There's going to be too many toy elements on here. But it won't be total toy either. It's going to be a hybrid for certain. Alrighty. And if you've been following the series, you've seen all the things I've done, how this thing looked when I began, and where we are at now. And I like it. I like detail. I've always been a detail buff. I got tired of it though when I was in HO scale model railroading. I grew weary of it. But I kind of have a hankering to get back into that detail mode, and so I've been working on this. Nice thing about doing a toy train layout and adding detail to it, I don't feel obligated to, how can I say it, micro detail every square centimeter of train layout real estate. I can do what I want and call it a day, and who cares? Alright, that being said, what have I done in the last couple weeks? Not much, like I said. I cut a template for the hill that's going to go here. I had pretty much figured out that a long time ago that this was going to be another hill. However, it's not going to be as tall as that one. I think I'm only going to put maybe 1 inch or 2 inch layer of styrofoam and scenic and whatever. And why? Why not a larger hill? Well, I like to do things like this. I like to take the camera, put it down, and get a low level angle photos. If I have too big a hill here, I can't do that as well. I like to do that. Okay, so the hill's not going to be this big. It's a rough template. I'll lay that on a piece of styrofoam, whichever one I pick, cut it down, whittle it down, and we'll go from there. I have no clue what I'll end up with because I haven't planned that far in advance. That's scenery. Not much, huh? Alright, structures. I put the farmer's market stuff back in the Plasticville roadside stand. I said in the last video I was thinking of just not gluing anything down inside of there, and that way I could swap out themes. It would be a farmer's market one time, perhaps a flea market another. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So until I do, it'd be a it's easy for me to say. Farmer's market. I also said I was going to repurpose the Plasticville corner store. Well, I think you figured out what that purpose is going to be. There's a Miller High Life sign. This is going to be a bar. Plasticville sold it as a men's clothing store. Hey, ladies and germs, boys and squirrels, look at this neighborhood. Is this a men's clothing store type of neighborhood? No, I don't think so. This is the hood. This is going to be a bar. I grew up. I'm not much of a drinker at all. So I'm serious. We're out here in the desert in Las Vegas, and I would still prefer an iced tea over a beer. But that being said, I grew up in a neighborhood in Milwaukee chock full of bars and taverns and restaurants and beer depots and whatnot. So this is kind of harkens back to those days. Also, I didn't live that far from Miller Brewery. I lived about, 12, 14 blocks from Miller Brewery. So I even applied there for a job there before joining the Air Force. So, but I'm going to swap signs out. I think I'm going to go with Pabst instead of Miller. Because they not only make a window sign, but they make a small roof sign, which I think I'm going to go with. Alright, more work to be done on that. Fine. Enough said. Got a couple of shorty box cars, Lionel box cars. I run anything I like. The layout started as a Marx board, but when I was at train meets, when I built this many years ago, when I was at train meets, I would run Marx, Lionel, whatever I felt like. I like them all. Shorty box cars look smaller, rolling stock look better on a small layout. Generally, they make the layout feel a little bit bigger. Alright, that being said, this Bosco boxcar is really nice. And look at those trucks. See that? And I'm showing you those trucks for a purpose. Open underneath, no obstructions. When I was working on this area the last time, I put a Marx uncoupling ramp there, which is just this fiber panel sticking up, spring loaded, which engages the Marx tilt automatic couplers. And they uncouple, usually. I bought this Baby Ruth boxcar, and it stops. Why? Electromagnetic uncouplers. So there's an obstruction sticking down just far enough that it catches that fiber plate sticking up. So, in the future, should I do any switching maneuvers, I'm not going to be delivering Baby Ruth to our freight station. Bosco, no problem. Alright. And I have some other short rolling stock here, like gondolas, and I got to look for some flat cars to go with this. The next thing is the train. The last time I ran on this layout, ran rolling stock or a set, it was the Marx Hiawatha. And if you remember from looking at that video, I said that if ever you come across a Marx Hiawatha, it was custom made. Marx didn't make Milwaukee Road stuff, and they certainly didn't make a Hiawatha. Anytime you see a Marx Hiawatha, it's custom. I bought this set approximately 18 years ago. I bought 2 engines, 2 tenders, and a set of 4 cars. Our engine here is blue. The tender is the 6-inch 4-wheel with embossed co-pile. The last set I ran, the engine was gray, and I had a wedge tender. Alright, so that's our set for today. Now I gotta tell you, this thing was giving me grief. It's generally a good runner, but when I tried to film this, about 10 minutes ago, it would not cooperate. Ran fine backwards, wouldn't go forwards. Even though, up until now, I've had no problem with the E-unit. It is what it is. It's a toy. Okay, pray for me. Let's see if this thing works. Backward, yeah, see backwards. It works backwards. Okay. So, you're gonna do that again, hey? Derailed there. I don't know why. There's a rough spot. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Frustration, thy name is Marx. How about this? Why don't I do this? I'll try that. Well, I did this before once, and the tender was writing too high. But let's try it. I gotta take a quick peek over here. I don't see anything there that I can tell would cause this to just up and derail. The rails appear to be even when they mate, where they mate. So I don't know. I don't get it. Well, it made it around several times, which, like 20 minutes ago, it wasn't doing it all. Now, I had said this thing is probably going to go up to 20, maybe 25. Who knows how many installments this series. And I'm going to bet any amount of money that I'm going to get rid of this piece of junk right here. I am really tired of these post-war couplers. What am I talking about? Switches. Yeah. They are a pain in the hiney. Especially for these Marx pre-war single reduction motors. What's a single reduction motor? Okay, let's go through this. See the gears? The gears go right up to the edge of the flange, all right? And that makes the whole wheel thicker. When the whole wheel is thicker, it has a hard time negotiating switches with and turnouts with guardrails in them. All right. Yeah. So I've said it before, the trials and tribulations of just trying to play with toy trains. Here we go. What did I say before? Adapt and overcome. That's all you can do. And we just play with it as best we can. It really does not like that turnout. Well, folks, you know, when I'm here without a camera in my hand, I can sit down and kind of fiddle around with the transformer control and kind of make things work. It's really difficult trying to multitask. It's about as good a running session as we're going to get with this thing and that thing. Bad combination. Bad boys. All right, it is what it is. Like I said, I'll sit out here and I'll play with it, and there are some nights I don't work on the layout. I just come out here and I play. Doesn't give me hardly a lick of problems. Every now and then it stops and goes backwards. Okay, well, a lot of the trains do that because for some reason there's something going on in this track and that curve over there. I'm going to maybe have to disassemble them and put new tracks in them. Something's not going right. But otherwise, I generally have decent running sessions with this. Okay, well, enough yammering. Thank you for joining us in this installment of the Edge of Town Rejuvenation series. And hit like, subscribe, comment. Tschüss, adieu, auf Wiedersehen. Bye, y'all.